Hey guys, Lola Selena here. I also go by Island Turtle. Welcome to BOMISpirit. This is another blackout message for today. Today is the 29th. I thought it was the 30th for a second. Mercury has gone stationary direct today after the quarter moon in Pisces yesterday and after the Saturn going stationary direct in Pisces the day before. And I put out a blackout message yesterday about the owl in particular and just how some people may have been experiencing this really interesting window of transits. Okay. Now, most likely, sorry, all kinds of stuff coming in my awareness. Um, Something that wanted to move through me today for you was just to kind of almost like to pose a question to you, to marinate on or to sit with. What gift has Mercury given you? What gift has, actually, now they're saying the moon, that the moon has given you, the owl has given you, that your own dreams have given you. Dream time might have been really interesting the last couple days, especially last night and even tonight. It may continue to be very revealing. Um, if you're managing to fall asleep is also what I'm hearing. Some people I think are struggling to sleep. I'm just picking that up. Yeah, that feels like some sort of resistance to surrendering into a receptive state because things that are moving through in dream time in our own awareness, our own consciousness, our own psyche, you could even say intuition is, I don't want to say this, truths that are maybe not the most pleasant to receive, maybe not the most pleasant to have like move through us or to accept, but they are truth. They are truths that will help us, that will, how do I want to say, help us like really embrace that like fiery energy I was speaking about yesterday. But something that was also coming through about how some of these truths may be experienced, especially in dream time. You may be having dreams that actually are your own fears come to life, your own insecurities come to life in your dreams. You may even be feeling like you're waking up and feeling some kind of way, like, oh, I don't feel so great after having that kind of a dream, or why do I feel small, or why do I feel kind of like just like kind of sad, or like you know what I mean? It's like because the dreams are really showing you what you're really afraid of. The dreams are showing you what you're really insecure about. And for a lot of people, that's also going to be how you've been getting in your own way in some fashion with things that you have wanted to experience, with things that you've wanted to do, things you've wanted to say. And again, if we are getting in our own ways because of our own fears or insecurity, this window is definitely going to show that to us. And for those who are working with the owl is definitely showing that as well. And it is medicine. I know it may not feel good to receive that kind of medicine. It's also, when you think about it, kind of scorpionic too, right? Like Scorpio is about secrets. Oh, excuse me. And also touches the shadow. And we go and reveal those things, right? It's like we reveal the truth of the secrets, things that have been kept hidden away, even from ourselves. We, how do I want to say, confront the poison, if you will, which is also why it feels kind of unpleasant. But if you're having dreams like that, I really recommend journaling. I really recommend like really exploring your feelings around that and even just allow yourself to kind of see what that leads you to, or what else it brings up for you. And I think it's going to make it very clear to you like, oh, that dream wasn't a psychic attack. That dream wasn't some weird distorted thing. That was just my own shit, just making itself very clear and very known. You know what I mean? Um, and in doing that, right, and in seeing the poison or the venom, it's like interesting those words want to be used here. Um, you can find a way to let it go, right? When you know what the venom is, you know what the antidote is. And then you can release it. You don't have to be plagued by that insecurity. You don't have to be plagued by that fear. Whether you equate this to Mercury going stationary direct or the recent quarter moon Pisces, or even Saturn going stationary direct in Pisces, or even just the owl working with the collective at this time, truth is truth, healing is healing, release is release, clarity is clarity, right? Um, so yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. If you are like having some weird dream time lately, animals are still really prominent, really prominent. The owl, of course, still very much here. Um, ooh, okay. The serpent. The serpent. The serpent may also have been coming up for some people, especially in dreams, or even like through people. It's like kind of a weird way to say that. Like you may be having like dreams or visions or like just getting little synchronicities about people in your life or people that you're encountering in dream time that kind of have this like serpent-like quality to them. That's kind of interesting. I feel like it's all just part of the same energy of like what we're moving through of really seeing the truth of maybe what's been stopping us or what's been holding us back or getting in our own way, especially when it comes to our own insecurities and our own fears. And I think the serpent's just like just alluding to that. Um, Now, if you are, no, okay. If you know or you have an inkling that you got some people in your life that aren't healthy for you, don't ignore that. Like that's coming through as well. Don't ignore that. If you know, you know, and there's no reason to like avoid that. There's no reason to sidestep it. There's no reason to go, oh, maybe not. Oh, maybe I'm just looking too much into things, or oh, no, it's probably fine. If your body's saying something and your intuition's saying something and you got enough red flags, please just honor that, you know? Everyone's better off when they recognize what the red flags are and just like don't ignore that kind of a thing because that's coming through as well and maybe your dreams are even telling that to you about some people in your life. The buffalo. The buffalo have been coming up too. They actually started coming up in my awareness maybe 3 weeks ago, 2, 3 weeks ago, and they're coming up again today, which I think is actually really beautiful because I feel like the buffalo coming up is a really nice support for some people in the collective and actually just as a good omen, as a positive omen of acknowledging whatever this poison has been, whatever this insecurity has been, whatever this fear has been that has probably been getting in your own way here. Um, yeah, something about that just feels like a warm hug, and it's like my heart is like, oh, like my heart's like feeling all warm and fuzzy with it. That feels really nice. Buffalo can come in various forms of medicine. Typically abundance, prosperity, community, interconnectedness. It is a very sacred animal and is very closely linked with the divine. I mean, all animals are divine, but you know what I mean. I actually wanted to do a whole video on that because they were coming up so prominently a couple weeks ago, and I just was not like, it just wasn't in alignment, but who knows? Maybe that could change. Um, Something else is wanting to come up here. What is this? The fears and insecurities. Let me just speak about one more thing about that. Um, you may also realize that these fears and insecurities, you didn't come into this world with them. Most of us don't. Um, Wanted to do a whole PhD on buffalo. They're pretty amazing animals, I gotta say. They're very amazing. If you have a chance to bear witness to them in like just, in physical life, definitely do it if you have the chance to do it because they're pretty marvelous. Sorry, that totally distracted me, but like I'm with you. I'm totally with you on that. But coming back, the fears and insecurities, we don't really come into this world with a lot of these fears and insecurities we're walking around in this world with, right? We adopt them over time. And so you may also be realizing what played a role in that, what played a role in breeding those fears and insecurities and those narratives, and especially people tied to them. And I do feel this window of opportunity in releasing through forgiveness. I do feel that. Which is, that's one of the very common ways we release things. But, to each their own with that. I'm not telling you to forgive in a way that you don't feel ready to. It's just moving through me to mention to you as a helpful tool in this moment. Um, yeah, I'm just hearing make peace. I'm just hearing make peace with that. Yeah, that feels complete. That feels like everything that wants to be said in this moment. Don't be surprised if more videos come out, especially now that Mercury stationary direct in my fifth house. So it will be very nice to have that energy back to normal. I'm sure a lot of you feel that same way. And like this Mercury retrograde really hit me. I don't know if y'all feel that for yourselves, but man, this Mercury retrograde really hit me. And I'm very excited to now be in the integration phase of it. Ooh, actually, you know what? While I'm here, okay. I meant to mention this yesterday, and I don't think I did in the blackout message regarding Saturn and Mercury going stationary direct and some of these like milestone moments in time with this integration. And so just keep in mind the time frames I'm about to give you. there may be some interesting things that play out for you in your personal journey as it relates to these energies, your personal chart, what you got going on, especially with integrating what we've been learning with Saturn and Pisces, which has been about faith, trust, um, navigating the unknown, being present, detaching, letting go, all of that. Mercury going through Scorpio and Sag, I think, it can be very nuanced depending on where it is in your chart. Because for me, that's actually hitting a very, like, how do I want to say? Yeah, it's hitting a very interesting place in my chart that I don't think creates a very, like, normal energy for Mercury, Scorpio, and Sagittarius. Um, but that energy definitely is relating to intuition and knowledge and beliefs and all of that, like how we learn and explore through psychic realms and what have you. Um, but the milestone, sorry, I'm trying to stay focused. So we're at the end of November. We are now stationary direct with these energies. Come mid-December, there's going to be a big pivot in the collective here, between like December 14th to the 21st, like right up to the winter solstice. And that's partly because Mercury is going to go out of its post shadow around that time, but we also have some really interesting transits with Mars and Venus and Mercury with Sagittarius energy, and also Juno. And so there's going to be some sacred bond stuff that shifts really big. There's going to be some big shifts in terms of how people are embracing following their passion with all that Saggy energy and that massive conjunction, not to mention the winter solstice itself. So keep in mind, whatever's going on from now until the next couple weeks, there's going to be a major pivot there. And then we're going to move into, is it February? I want to say it's February. February, Saturn's going to go back into Aries. That's going to be a huge pivot. And then March, we're going to have another pivot when this post shadow ends for Saturn. Okay. So pivot right now, mid December, really peaking around the winter solstice on 12/21. And then February 13th to the 15th. And then I believe March 6th. That's just the date that's coming through, but that doesn't feel like that's when the post shadow ends. But that's the date that's coming through is March 6th, which is interesting. Um, those are some big pivot windows. Okay. So just keep that in mind. All right. Now we are complete. I will see you all later, potentially. Who knows? We'll see. And I hope you guys have a great day, a great weekend. And patrons, you'll see me tomorrow for the weekly. And yeah, just take care, everybody. Bye.